Jidan, Rise of the Street King, City of Chaos. Dhaka was alive with its usual chaos. The streets, clogged with never-ending traffic, smelled of gasoline and sweat. The honking of impatient drivers, the shouts of street vendors, and the distant call of the azan blended into a chaotic symphony. The air was thick, heavy with dust and humidity, making it hard to breathe. Among them stood a modest middle-class house, neither too shabby nor too grand. This was home to Marnosh Islam Jidan and his father, Gholam Madbour. Gholam had lived a hard life. Once, he was just another struggling painter on the dirty streets, barely making enough to eat. But fate had been kinder to him in recent years. Now, he owned a glass shop in the heart of Dhaka. Though his wealth was still modest, it was enough to give his son a better life. First day of school. Jidan woke up to the sharp ring of a bell. He yawned and stretched, the nervous excitement of the day filling his chest. Today was his first day at school. He was eager, but nervous. Making friends was never easy. His father, Gholam, helped him get ready, and soon they were on their way. They rode a rickshaw through the nightmare of Dhaka traffic. The rickshaw pullers struggled through the congested streets, weaving. Jidan fidgeted with his school bag. Jidan took a deep breath. He could do this. As he entered the school, his old life as a poor boy flashed before his eyes. The days of hunger, the nights of sleeping under a leaking roof, the humiliation of being lower class. But things were better now, or so he thought. The moment he stepped inside, eyes turned to him. Whispers, stares, laughter. His uniform was clean but not brand new. His shoes were worn. He could hear them murmuring about him. Jidan pretended not to care. He walked to his class, but before he could even sit, they surrounded him. The bullies, 4 huge boys, towered over him, dark-skinned, muscular, eyes filled with arrogance. Their uniforms stretched tightly over their bulky frames. One of them smirked. "New kid, huh?" Jidan swallowed. "Yeah." Another boy grabbed his bag. "This is my seat. Get lost." Jidan's hands trembled. He felt his stomach tighten. The humiliation burned inside him, but he couldn't fight back. Not yet. Tears streamed down his face. But before he could calm himself, they followed him inside. "You think you're better than us, poor boy?" One of them sneered. Laughter echoed in the classroom as they shoved him against the sink, ripped his shirt, and dumped water on his head. The cold liquid mixed with his tears. "Pathetic." Another one laughed. Kicking him in the stomach, Jidan curled up on the floor, broken. When he returned to class, even the teacher humiliated him, making fun of his background. The pain was too much. His body ached. His spirit shattered. He collapsed on the ground as the students laughed at his misery. At lunchtime, he sat alone at the back bench, his tears dripping into his food. When the school ended, Jidan ran to his father, sobbing. He hugged Gholam tightly. Gholam whispered, "Everyone has gone through this." A year later, brotherhood. Time passed. Jidan changed. He toughened up. He learned the streets, the unspoken rules of survival. And most importantly, he found his brothers. 3 friends who meant the world to him. Munaf, a brave soul with a sharp tongue and a small attitude. Abdullah, a smart and strategic thinker, always calm under pressure. Majdi, a greedy little monster, always craving money for cigarettes, but loyal to his friends. These 4 were inseparable. They grew up together in 9A, their territory, their home. They spent their days in Munaf's legendary Toyota Vix.
Night we pop out at 1 in the morning. You really wanna know this kind of life, never boring. She bought Dior with a man from the store, but she brings us.
One night, they roamed the streets of Zone, a place too dangerous for normal people. The roads were filled with gangsters, drug dealers, and criminals who ran the streets like kings. As they drove through, Jiran saw a group of goons hanging out. An idea sparked in his mind. He grinned and shouted, Mama chola marao, oder, lol, lara, de amrao, pamamamo. Laughter filled the car as they stepped out, making connections with the underworld. And that's when Jiran met his true master, Mehandi Bhai, the untouchable leader. A man stronger than anyone, feared by all. His mere presence commanded respect. Mehandi Bhai. His voice was deep, his fists like iron. No one dared to cross him. Under his guidance, Jiran learned real power. The first battle. One day, a fight broke out between Jiran and a rival gang. He called his men. Within minutes, they were ready, all on bikes, engines roaring, weapons in hand. But then, the enemy came. Bikes rushed toward them at full speed. The two gangs clashed violently. Punches, kicks, blood spilled on the streets. Jiran fought with all he had, but his gang was losing. One by one, his men fell. His vision blurred. His body was failing him, but then he roared. Jiran pushed through the pain, fighting harder. And then they won. The streets echoed with victory. Jiran returned home, bloodied but victorious. The darkest night, Monaf's disappearance. The next day, they gathered on Jiran's rooftop, celebrating. But suddenly, Monaf's phone rang. He turned pale. I have to go to Lao Matia. Lao Matia, the most dangerous place of all. Monaf drove there alone. As soon as he stepped out of his car, he felt it. As he turned his head, 10-12 goons emerged from the darkness. They grabbed him, dragging him into the shadows. Was this the end for Monaf? Would Jiran, Abdullah, and Majdi save him? To be continued.